You're listening to the Ecosystem Approach show. I'm Jason.
And I'm Patricia.
We discovered that human potential is severely limited when you program humans like a machine, which is standard practice today for self-improvement.
The Ecosystem Approach teaches you how to uncover your infinite potential by using natural methods that are truly revolutionary. Join us now for the Ecosystem Approach show. Have you ever wondered, why me? Has there ever been pain or difficulty and you say to yourself, what did I do to deserve this? Today's show will change how you think about why things happen and, most importantly, what you can do about it. We'll talk about how dark energy exists and its motive here on Earth. Warning, listening to today's show could change your life. Jason, how do we know about dark energy?
We've spent 25 years working with clients who have struggled with pain, difficulty, challenges, and for them, it seemed insurmountable.
Correct.
You know, I don't know that anybody has come to us and said, oh, this is an easy problem. You know, we've seen that when we call out this energy that's causing the pain and we use our clearing process, the ecosystem approach, the problem is diminished. Sometimes it doesn't go away completely. Correct. Sometimes it helps it. Whatever, things get better.
Right.
And after 25 years of seeing dark energy, removing it, and then seeing the response, we see the energy more clearly.
And also, what else we can do to remove more negative energy to get rid of things.
We've been doing this for 25 years.
Right.
We're different people now.
Oh.
We're completely different people.
Yes.
And we see it in ourselves more than anything else.
Right.
And people that meet us today, that they just assume that this is the way we've always been, and it's not. We see the difference. It's huge. It's not little bitty.
Yes.
It's huge.
Exactly. So I'm going to ask another question. What is dark energy master plan? What is the dark energy master plan, Jason?
We see, and people always ask us this. It's a relevant question.
By all means.
We see dark energy is here to enslave Earth. How? By taking away the energy of free will and using programming methods. If you've heard our show before, you probably heard that before. But
not put together quite like that, I think.
And let's dive into that a little bit more.
Okay.
When you suppress life purpose, that suppresses life force and humans' access to it. If you suppress free will, and which is an energy that empowers humans on Earth.
That's
so
correct.
We think of free will. This is the big misconception that it's our ability just to make choices.
Or we can do whatever we want.
Exactly.
Okay.
And that's not true.
No.
Free will really is an energy that says, when I put my intention towards something, I can make it happen. Now, that's been misinterpreted also.
Yes.
Because they think of it that intention comes from your conscious mind. It comes from your essence and how you genuinely feel, not how you want to feel, not how you make yourself feel.
Correct.
Not how you program yourself to feel, but how you authentically feel. And so going back to what I just said, when you suppress life purpose. So when you don't know who you are,
that's right.
Your essence knows who you are and is trying to help you
get there
in this lifetime.
Right.
So when that's suppressed, all of a sudden you're really off balance.
Correct.
And then your ability to create life force is also suppressed.
And even regenerate it by doing your purpose.
We talked about that human solar panel.
Yes,
about,
we did.
Right
there, that's
walking
it.
Walking around with a human solar panel where you regenerate yourself.
Yes.
Well, that's life force.
Yes.
So if you don't know who you are and what you're here to do,
correct.
Then oh my gosh, your solar panel's broken.
Yeah.
You're not getting any recharge that you should be getting.
Correct.
So the master plan. take away the energy of free will, that energy, that
Correct.
power to make things happen, confuse life purpose and block it, life force. So you don't know who you are or what you're here to do. You block then life force.
Yes.
And then
everything else is done with what? Programming.
Yes.
And by the way, that programming is to enslave Earth and everyone on Earth. It's not just one or two, it's everyone.
So when you go to any self-help, any how-to videos, it's, think this way, do this, make yourself think this way,
right?
Make yourself do this, and that's programming.
Yes.
The truth is, if we took away this dark energy, we wouldn't have to program ourselves. We wouldn't have to motivate ourselves. We wouldn't have to develop the attitude of gratitude. All those things that are just that we've talked about previously.
Correct.
They would come naturally out of you. That would come naturally out of your natural ability from your essence to say, okay, I love this world.
Right.
I'm making my purpose happen, and I'm making things happen for my purpose. That creates a form of joy, but more importantly, this life force emanates from you.
And it gives you the ability to make the choices that are actually how you get from one place to the other, that sort of thing. But it also gives you this, I'm going to say feeling, this knowing of, I'm doing what I came here to do. I have just a slight story. Do you mind?
Sure.
I knew from the time I was a very young child that I came here to do something very special. Truly did not know what it was, but I knew there was something I was supposed to do. And through my lifetime, and we're going to actually talk about one of the biggest blocks that happened to me. We're going to talk about it in the next segment. But the bottom line is it took, and I hate to say this, close to 50 years before I started removing negative energy for me to actually know that that light inside of me that said, you're here to do something different. You're here to do something special. That kind of thing. It took a long time, but it wasn't until then that I had the ecosystem approach to be able to do that.
Well,
so I feel very positive about that.
I think the most important part of that is that the dark energy, and we can see that more and more clearly.
Yes.
And your whole family was organized not to help you be who you are,
not to support me,
but to suppress it.
Yes.
And to put pigeonhole, make her small.
Yes.
And if you're listening today and you're saying, "Oh my gosh, my family did that. My family
did it this way, or my family did it that way.
Or they did it by this, or this way, or this way." And it's not always your family. It could be situations, circumstances,
all kinds of things. Absolutely.
All kinds of things. But that happens. That happens all the time. That's real.
Yes.
And the way I was suppressed was feeling the responsibility of shame that my dad and my mother both carried.
Yes.
And it was then it became my shame. And then I lived my life trying to prove myself to overcome that shame, which proving yourself never overcomes shame. It's
removing it, clearing, getting rid of that.
It's an
negative
energy. Shame is an energy. Yeah.
Exactly. And here was the most, I'm going to call it fascinating, but the thing that took the most time in all of that for Jason is to figure out whose shame is this, whose shame is that, and where is mine? And do they cross? I mean, there was so many aspects of it. It was, if you stand back and look and go, wow, that's pretty interesting. How could the energy of shame be so
faceted?
Yeah, I guess that's a good
But
word.
here's the main point here, okay? If you go back and if you've following along when Bashar, Abraham, and Seth came to us and said, we've been waiting for you.
Yes.
they see our evolution. They see that we have something special, that we have the missing piece that they weren't able to communicate
Correct.
when they were channeling before through their human channels, and now they can. When I think about the shame that came from my family and your family, I can see there was a motive to suppress our ability, because our purpose, we know our purpose really clearly now.
That's
as
that's where I started.
as old farts, okay, that that our purpose is to help the evolution of Earth.
That is correct. That's why we're here. Not everybody.
That's why you and I are here specifically.
That's what I'm saying.
We help to educate people and bring people and show them how to do that.
That's exactly right. And it's awesome to be able to do that. And I'll be honest, we want the same for everyone.
Yes.
And I'm not saying it hasn't taken some time. Yeah, it has. But I didn't get the way that I was overnight. So there's definitely a lot to be done. So, Jason, tell me about dark energy, how it has a head start.
They've created a bias and have discredited energy work, real knowledge and discussion regarding consciousness.
True.
I see it all the time. Any scientific reputation is compromised by the use or the exploration of subtle energies. If you remember the movie Contact, that was a great example of that.
Yes.
Recently, I've been noticing people saying, well, I'm not a woo-woo person, but then they say something about subtle energies. In other words, they say, I don't want you to think I'm crazy.
Yeah.
Because anybody that works with subtle energies got to be crazy, which is the presumption.
Yes.
And that's very frustrating to me. So
yes.
So they've got a head start. We're going to keep talking about this.
And we're going to keep working on it too.
Yes.
So, Jason, what is the summary of this segment?
Dark energy is real. We see how it works. We've removed it. And we see more and more clearly as we evolve ourselves how it's affected Earth.
Yes.
It is the root cause of all pain, trauma, and challenges in the world today. But what's important is the root cause of everyone's problem that we've seen from 25 years of experience that we've been working on with our clients.
Yes.
It's the root cause. We know that everyone that's listening today this could be the solution for your problems that you have. We've created the ecosystem approach to help people remove the energy of their difficulties.
In the next segment, we're going to use some visuals to show you specifically how dark energy works in your soul or essence. This is the Ecosystem Approach Show with Jason and Patricia. You're listening to Transformation Talk Radio.
This is the Ecosystem Approach Show with Jason, and in this segment, we're going to look at a visual representation of how dark energy works. And I created a metaphor a couple shows ago about how the soul works, and this is going to review that, and then we're going to get into how the dark energy affects that. So here we go. Let's review first. Most people think that the soul's like a cloud that follows you around like this. And frankly, this is how we see it also. If you break that cloud down into 100 bits of life force and consciousness, that's what we did for this metaphor. So we can see your essence is 100 bits of life force. And we converted each bit of life force into a person. Again, because it has consciousness. If you put all these people, these 100 people, imagine into a company headquarters, that represents your soul. So instead of the cloud, you see this 10-story company headquarters. These 100 employees can be either good or bad. And we very simply represented them as either black hats or white hats, good employees or bad employees. How do these bad employees affect your life? That's the key to all of this. They get together and create difficulties and challenges. So imagine you just pick a difficulty or challenge or a painful time in your life and go back and imagine these bad employees in your essence in a conference room like this, um, plotting to create pain for you or a challenge or whatever. Health problems like cancer, heart attacks, and everything else come from these bad employees getting together. Um, it's one of the most direct ways of seeing how these bad employees work is in health issues, but they work in a lot of different other issues. Imagine a serious illness, heart attack, cancer, bad employees. That's where it comes from. But even the minor stuff, maybe a cold, maybe had someplace, you had a date or a special presentation, and you had this embarrassing but basically minor inconvenience. Dark employees, bad employees. These bad employees also create relationship problems. So, um, divorce, bad partner choices, for example. All types of problems with children. This is another one. Um, um, we've had so many clients over the years come to us because they're having problems with something to do with their children. Sisters and any type of sibling problems. This is a big one for us. We've had a lot of sibling problems. Oh, my brother, my sister's doing this, difficult family situations. There's a lot of those. Bad employees can create money problems. When you don't have enough money at the end of your check, that's one type of money problems. But there's other types. Overspending. A lot of times there's overspending. This is what happens. You get overdrafts. Sometimes it's spending on the wrong things, spending on things over here that you should be spending on something over that's not that should be a higher priority over here. So if you put this all together, you can remove the dark energy attached to these bad employees, and you can evolve with purpose and well-being. And that's why we're here today.
Jason, how does dark energy make things happen?
This is a really logical question to ask after seeing these visual descriptions.
Yes.
Bashar, Abraham, and Seth have all said, you create your own reality. Mm-hmm. Oh my gosh, that's true. We see this is the basis for the idea behind the movie The Secret.
Correct.
We know it's true, but it's been grossly misunderstood.
Yes.
You don't get there by doing a vision board or repeating to yourself over and over again.
The I ams.
The I ams. Is not. Yes. It comes from, that doesn't work. It comes from that authentic place in you, and the authentic place is your essence. So if you have these bad employees creating negative relationships, you can do the I ams about having good relationships, to finding the right person, blah blah blah. Until the cows come home, it ain't gonna work, So
yes.
So the reason these highly evolved entities, Bashar, Abraham, and Seth, made themselves known here on Earth to help people evolve, that evolution helps those people on Earth create their own reality, right? Well, if we were evolved enough, we could.
That's correct.
But the problem is we have these negative employees floating around, creating havoc,
hanging out,
and we're not doing anything about it, and we're just trying to overlook it, cope with it, work around it.
Well, we've been programmed so much to believe that's how you take care of it. In other words, you don't even recognize it when it's happening, and it's so all right. It's just wrong, and what we're. I try and not be that defined when I do those things, but that's how I see it. When you create your own reality, there's a power to it. But the dark energy uses the programming and the manipulating and all of these things, the lying and the cheating, uses all these things to block people and keep them from what their intention was when we all got here.
We're gonna do a great example.
Yes.
This is Patricia's story,
and
it's very personal. It's frankly, it's still, it hurts,
Still.
But you want to
yes,
start? Okay.
I'll get started. When I was a child, and I mean almost from the time I can remember, I was told by both of my parents that I was good for nothing other than being barefoot and pregnant. In other words, my place was in the kitchen, my place was to raise children, and I had no other value at all.
And that was actually said explicitly.
By both of them more than once. And it was, so when you're trained and programmed over and over again, you believe, and especially we're supposed to believe what our parents tell us, you're good, you can do anything you want. So I never got that.
That kind of programming creates those bad employees that are all in that conference room huddling. Okay, so how can we make sure that she doesn't? They knew there was some part of your essence that knew, even as a child,
yes,
that you were here to teach how to help people evolve.
And like I said, I couldn't articulate it, but I knew something was there. So what happened at the age of 16? What did I do? I created a pregnancy, and my mother forced me into marrying my first husband, and that's a whole nother thing in itself. And basically she wanted me out of the house, but she wanted to prove to me that I had no value, just like she had been telling me over and over and over again.
And this is a great example of the negative energy in her colluded with the negative energy that was developing in you.
That's correct.
And it just got worse and worse. It's your reality should have been created. What you're doing today,
yes,
should have been created a long time ago. But and frankly, you would have been, you would have been doing low level jobs, and we both would have been in terms of accomplishment in the world. There would have been nothing. We would have been struggling with this negative energy. But it's with the ecosystem approach that we both started to say, okay,
exactly.
What's going on here? Who are we? Where are we going? What's our purpose?
Exactly.
And,
exactly.
After 25 years, it was validating for us
yes,
that Bashar, Abraham, and Seth all said, we've been waiting for you. You have the evolution. You've been doing it.
Yes.
And
which was quite awesome. Let me just say it that way.
It was so validating for the first time because
yes,
we always kind of knew it.
Yes.
But we felt like the whole world wants to think that we're crazy, that subtle energy doesn't exist, that bias that we talked about already.
Yes.
It must be us. There's something wrong with us.
Well, okay. So I want to ask another question. Jason, can you explain the misunderstanding using the metaphor of programming and people trying to knowing they have a purpose, but the programming, how to break out of it? I mean, talk about that.
All the employees, which are bits of life force, have the power to create reality in this world.
Yes.
So if they're the bad employees, they're creating the bad reality. It's as simple as that.
Yes.
And we have to remove the motives of those bad employees and dark energy.
And by the way, he and I know that it works. So, Jason, what is the summary of this segment?
In our metaphor that describes essence, we convert bits of life force and consciousness into employees that work in our essence. These employees, for simplicity, are divided into two groups, good employees and bad employees. The bad employees are responsible for all the bad things that happen in our lives. They use the power that humans have to create their own reality, to make things make bad things happen.
Correct.
If we could convert them to good employees, the person's life would be better. The ecosystem approach was designed to help individuals convert bad employees to good ones.
In the next segment, we're going to talk about practical questions regarding dark energy. This is good. This is the Ecosystem Approach Show with Jason and Patricia, and you're listening to Transformation Talk Radio. Ecosystem Approach Show with Jason, and I'm Patricia. And in this segment, we're going to talk about practical questions regarding dark energy. I'm going to start with the first one, Jason. Why don't we just fire the bad employees?
That would seem reasonable, to just put the bad employees in the processor like we do with negative energy.
Correct.
And then start over again. The problem is that your essence is you. And the truth is that the bad employees aren't 100% bad.
No.
There's still parts of you that are in that 100 employees.
That is correct.
So what you have to do is convert that dark energy, clear that dark energy that's attached to those employees.
Correct.
So that the part of them that's good can come forward and can empower your essence and then you.
Yes, exactly. And by the way, I admit it's taken Jason and I a long time, but I know I spoke about this in the last show. I ran into someone whom I hadn't seen in quite a while, but I went to high school with. And the look on his face, and then of course it was, oh my gosh, the difference. And then the other part was that he said to me, you're so different than you were when we were in school. Now, that was more than 50 years ago. I know I'm telling my age, but okay. The point that I'm getting at is that when you start removing the negative energy, so many things change.
And most
always,
of them
are for the better.
A lot of other, and they're often invisible, and
Yes.
it takes someone from the outside who hasn't seen you for a while.
Yeah, that's true.
That's
true.
Remember that one time you went to a family gathering
Yeah,
after
yeah.
you've been clearing for a while, and
Yeah.
they said, "What have you been doing?"
Exactly. And it wasn't just one person that said that to me. It was at least three. And I have a large family, so.
And to use our vernacular,
Okay.
what we see is that dark energy was all over both of us.
Oh,
and then as we
absolutely.
start to remove it,
Yeah.
we look different. We
Yes,
perform
yes.
different.
Yes.
We act differently. And it's more authentic to who we are.
Exactly. So the part that well, Jason,
So-
you have an idea.
So, these traumas and hurts, they build up over time.
Right.
And dark energy has a consciousness and motives. And the primary motive is to exist and follow its purpose, which is to block your evolution.
Correct.
Or the person that it's attached to.
Yes.
So I want to do an exercise just really quickly. It'll just take a second, but I want you to maybe close your eyes and take a second look.
If you're driving, don't do that.
Yeah. Take a second look at your life so far. What have you actually manifested? In other words, don't think about, well, I don't want that or I don't want that. Think about what you have actually manifested.
That's correct.
And if there are things that you don't like, and if you're like the majority of everybody else,
Correct.
there are huge amounts of things you don't like.
Correct.
Just imagine that those things, those bad things, come from the bad employees.
Okay.
And that gives
how they got manifested was with help through the bad employees.
Yes. So just take a minute, think about that. That's where your clearing process will begin.
Exactly.
And if you're thinking, oh my gosh, I have to do this. This is for me. This is what I've been waiting for.
Yes.
This is what I want. Go to our website right now, theecosystemapproach.org. Sign up for our newsletter.
Yes.
Go to our YouTube channel, The Ecosystem Approach with Jason and Patricia Roan. We got a little sun logo there. Subscribe to our channel so you can get this information over and over again.
And by the way, we can't, because of the bad employees, we can't take all of that information in, or all of this information in at once, accept it, and then move on. Unfortunately,
It's
it
not a
doesn't
formula,
work that
it's
way.
not a quick
That
fix.
is exactly right.
It's not something where we can plug you in and then all of a sudden you're better.
Yes, exactly.
Evolution doesn't happen that way.
No, not at all. We have to learn.
Here's the thing. People are this way over years and years and years of
Correct.
trauma that has been repeated over
Yes.
and over
Well,
and over again.
And I could say you don't get this way overnight. And so think about removing piece by piece, and that's
You were
often
told since you've been a child about this.
Yes.
So we started the ecosystem, we started doing this clearing when you were 50. Oh my gosh. So that's at least 50 years. Now, we see it also goes back to previous life.
Yeah, I'm not 100 years old, everyone. Well, if I am, hey.
But, it's 50 years and then you take another 25. It's just,
Right.
it's a lot there.
Exactly. So, many people have overcome difficulties, haven't they, Jason?
We hear this all the time in our culture. So you're probably thinking, well, I've overcome this and I've overcome this, and yes, I had this problem over here, but I overcame it.
Mm-hmm.
And the truth is that we overcome it superficially, and these bad employees don't go away.
No.
They kind of laugh at it, and some start by removing. You start by removing a little bit of negative energy, and that's how you do it. But there's a little bit of relief or not. Here's the. Oh, I was looking at the wrong side. There was a story about a woman on CBS recently. It was about she had overcome breast cancer, and she had breast cancer when she was 36. They did a double mastectomy, and to make sure that they found a lump on one side.
Yeah,
but
so they were taking care of the whole thing as far as they were concerned.
and they took both breasts, and they heralded it as a great victory, a great source of courage for this person. And for the person, I get it. She's just following the brainwashing,
The programming.
that everybody around her is telling her, especially from the medical profession.
Yes.
But those dark employees in her are just laughing. They're laughing. They're saying,
Well, they're laughing at the pain, the humiliation. I mean, I can go on down the line about all the things that they're laughing about. And by the way, when they're doing that, they're putting out more bits of negative energy.
So she's going to spend the rest of her life afraid that she's going to get cancer someplace else.
That's correct.
And they're making sure of that. Or I don't know exactly what their strategy is.
Right.
But they have the options to create a divorce. They have the option now. They can do something else. They can create cancer someplace else in the body.
Absolutely.
They can create another disease.
Yeah.
They can create problems with their children.
How about create depression?
Yes.
You say in
All
women,
those things.
you start messing with their female parts.
Yes.
And I guarantee you, there's depression. So,
So people say, okay, what can I do?
Okay,
What's
well-
the next step?
wait a minute, let's say it this way. How can we change your world today?
And this is how. It's step by step.
Yes.
That trauma didn't happen overnight.
Yeah.
It didn't just dump on you one day and that was it.
No.
It was repeated over and over and over again. And frankly, it sounds overwhelming, but that's what you have to do with the ecosystem approach. Use it every day, over and over.
And I don't know how I get through my day without it. Let me just say it that way, really, really, really clear.
The first time I cleared you,
Oh.
I want you to talk about that.
You sure?
Yeah.
Okay.
And this it wasn't like I did everything. It's not
No.
like all of her problems went away.
No,
But what
not
was
at
the
all.
feeling that you had?
As if I was walking on air the next morning. He had time over the weekend to work on me, and I agreed. And so when I got up the next morning, which was a Monday morning, I got out of bed and I felt like I had been walking on air, and or that I was walking on air. It was very strange to me, and I went to work, and it was the colors were brighter. I just felt like this weight had been lifted off my shoulders. By the way, it took me more than a few hours to go, well, this is different and that is different. And even the way I was perceiving how I was doing everything in my day. And you know how when you're working in a 9-to-5 job, you do this at this time, this at that time, that kind of thing. In other words, it's the same protocol. Well, this was completely different for me. Not that I wasn't doing the same protocol, but I was seeing things. This is the whole point of it all. I was seeing things from a different perspective in a way that I had never remembered seeing before.
It's amazing. It's truly amazing.
Yes.
And so if you're thinking, oh my gosh, I have to have this. This is for me.
Yeah.
Two things. Go to our website, theecosystemapproach.org. Sign up for our free section, which is our newsletter, so you get the backstory for every show. And then go to our YouTube channel, The Ecosystem Approach with Jason and Patricia Roan.
Correct.
And subscribe, please, because you'll get that information. Because we're going to start with you little by little, just like you have to do to evolve.
Yes. So, Jason, what is the summary of this segment?
The way we work with dark energy now is to create workarounds and coping mechanisms that don't get to the root cause. Dark energy and bad employees just laugh at us because they're not affected. Mm-hmm. If each of us just started to remove a little bit of dark energy, our lives would shift and we would begin to perceive more and more things and the bad employees are doing to us, which we could then clear.
Yes.
We can change our world by working a little by little, removing dark energy or what we're calling bad employees. The ecosystem approach was designed to help you do a little bit or go as far and create as much evolution as you desire. Oh my gosh.
Yes. In the next segment, we're going to show you how to do some clearings to help you remove the motives and the power of dark energy, or as we call them, bad employees that are affecting your life. This is the Ecosystem Approach Show with Jason and Patricia, and you're listening to Transformation Talk Radio. This is the Ecosystem Approach Show with Jason, and I'm Patricia. And in this segment, we're going to show you how to do some clearings to help you remove the motives and power of the dark energy or bad employees that are affecting your life. Jason, let's tell everyone how to do the clearing. Of course, if you've been with us, you already know how to do this. But for those of you who are new, this can and will change your life.
So normally it's the clearing is worked and it's directed at emotions, negative emotions that we're feeling, fears, worries, anxieties, anything that's intangible can be cleared because that's an energy. It's shame or a feeling of unworthiness or bad luck. Things like that. That's an energy. You can clear that too.
Yes.
But and now you can think about the bad employees that are creating whatever.
Yes. And by the way, if you're thinking, I hate them, clear that, because that energy of hate actually blocks your intention to have a better life.
And truly, those bad employees have been led astray.
True.
It's not that they're bad, it's what's attached to them is bad.
That is correct.
Making them do things or and frankly, when someone has a lot of dark energy, they do the same thing. It's people do the same thing as our employees do.
That is correct.
So here we go.
So how to clear?
So when we say to eliminate, in your mind's eye, imagine gathering that all up, blowing it into the processor. Mm-hmm. You've seen a picture of the processor before. It's like a trash can on wheels. You throw it in the top. It gets processed. Comes out the front neutral.
Yes, and by the way,
and if you want a picture of that,
you
can go to our newsletter. If you go to our website right now, theecosystemapproach.org, sign up for our free section, which is the newsletter, and it has a picture of this. It has all the words that you say that we're going to say right now, and these clearings for today. They're all going to be there.
So stay with us right now. Jason, you ready to get started?
Here we go.
All right.
I direct all my resources in all dimensions to eliminate the power that dark energy has, or my bad employees have, to create havoc, pain, and hurt in my life and create difficulties for me now and in the future. I eliminate that power in my life forever.
So nice and easy. You're going to start at the tips of your toes. You're going to, in your mind's eye, bring that negative energy up. You're going to pull it all the way up, and you're going to take, by the way, you're taking a breath while you're doing this. It sounds like this. And then you're going to blow that negative energy into the processor. That processor, when you throw that negative energy in there, when you blow that negative energy in there, what happens is it goes in the top, it goes down, and it gets processed, and it comes out the front neutral. So you're not only helping you, you're helping your world around you, but you're helping fight that negative energy that you and, well, many others have been stuck in for a really, really long time. So nice and easy, take a breath. We're getting rid of our attachments to dark energy power. Throw it away. Let's do that one more time. Take a breath and blow it out. I'm going to shorten it up just a little bit. Goes like this. And to eliminate the veils and illusions so I can see how my bad employees affect my life right now as they fuss with me, possibly in the future. Nice and easy. Tips of your toes. Take a breath. And blow out that negative energy, those veils and illusions that are keeping you from seeing those bad employees.
And to eliminate the barriers so I can remove any dark energy that affects me today, like anxiety, fears, shame, grief, anger, or bitterness, because I know that comes from my bad employees.
Nice and easy. Take a nice breath and throw it away. By the way, I see negative energy moves easier to the left than it does to the right. So that's why I'm doing it this way. And by the way, I'm doing this so I don't throw it on this guy that I happen to love right here. Okay, that doesn't work for me or him. So I've got my processor. You can have your own processor. I put mine just in between us to collect negative energy. So with all of that said, Jason, and to eliminate, so I can always look deeper to see the root causes of problems that I have that come from dark energy or bad employees from my essence, so I can empower myself by removing dark energy and the bad employees. In other words, I'm going to change them from bad employees to good employees. Nice and easy. Take a breath and blow it out.
And to eliminate the veils and illusions so I can see that the way to get started is by simple steps.
Yes.
Basic steps.
Yes.
Every day, clear a little bit more, clear a little bit more.
Or start with one emotion.
Yes.
And anger, hate, hurt, disappointment, jealousy, unworthiness, all of those things. In fact, right now, everybody, take all of those negative energies, pick them up, and throw them in the processor. Now, we're going to activate life force energy. Life force energy is the most powerful energy that anyone here on this planet has access to. And that life force energy, by using it daily, will change your life. And by the way, use it after you've been doing 1 or 20 clearings, doesn't matter how many, so that you can put back in positive where negative was. So it goes like this. Follow along. I direct all my resources in all dimensions to activate life force energy, so I can trust that I can transform my bad employees in my essence, so they are working in my highest and best interest. Now this time, you're going to pull in that positive energy and you're going to let it go all the way down to the tips of your toes. You're going to ask it to turn around and come right back up your body with negative energy, because we all have so much, and throw it into the processor. Take one more breath. Pull it in. Positive trust. And blow it out. Jason?
If something was activated in you today, and there's a good chance that it did, it's like, oh, that's why. And some of you may struggle to believe it. Some of you think, I'm not sure. This isn't what I've been told. People say the reason for our health problems are some sort of cancer or some sort of cell that's gone wrong or whatever. And those things aren't not true. They can be true, but it doesn't get to the root. And science doesn't see the root, because they don't acknowledge the energy world. No. They don't acknowledge subtle energies. So this is the root. Yes. And if you want more of this, if you want to learn more, it's very simple. Go to our website, theecosystemapproach.org. Sign up for our free section. Yes. We just need your email address. That's it. We're not going to spam you. We're not going to send you... I think we're going to... right now we do 2 newsletters a month.
Yes.
We might increase that a little bit. We might not. We might make it down to once a month. So it's easy, but it gives you a lot of information, and it shows you how to clear in the newsletter.
Yeah.
Every single newsletter.
And you get to see the picture of the processor.
Exactly.
By the way, use that processor. Do not throw negative energy out on the floor or on the ground or whatever. That's, in my opinion, it's worse than littering. And the reason is because you and others, including your animals, get up and walk into it.
The other thing is to make sure you're subscribed to our YouTube channel, and that's where you get new content. You get our shorts. You get the new content. Jason and Patricia Roan, the Ecosystem Approach, and there's a little sun logo there. Just subscribe to our channel. Yeah. You'll get more and more information. We've been talking about Bashar, Abraham, and Seth. There's a lot of really good information there. Yes. Stuff that you've never heard before. The stuff that we're putting out is not common knowledge within the consciousness community, and we're getting this all the time. And Bashar, Abraham, and Seth are really supporting us and with new information and encouraging us to put that new information out there.
Exactly. So I encourage you not only to listen as often as you can, and by the way, you can do the clearings over and over again. It's amazing. But tell your friends and see how much of a difference you're making in your life and how your friends can make differences in their lives. So we'll connect in 2 weeks at 1 p.m. Pacific time and 4 p.m. Eastern time. This is Transformation Talk Radio, and you're listening to the Ecosystem Approach Show with Jason and Patricia.
Living like an ecosystem is the key to a better life for you.
Thank you for listening to the Ecosystem Approach Show with Jason and Patricia. I'm Patricia. Tune in every week as we discuss practical ways to apply the ecosystem approach and develop your potential to live your life on your terms. For more information, visit our website at theecosystemapproach.org.